Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Get ready. The 42nd International Reggae and World Music Awards Show is coming to the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, March 20, 2025. Celebrate the biggest names in reggae and world music as we bring nations together through music and culture. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Don't miss out. Grab yours today at thecentercs.com or irama.com and book your stay for an unforgettable weekend. Hurry, prices go up after Thanksgiving. Follow us on social media and visit our website, www.irawma.com for more details. The 42nd Irama Show, where the world comes to celebrate music.
It's the numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. We're going to learn today, family. All the people coming in, even on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on broadcasting. Also, we're broadcasting. Remember, we're also broadcasting on Dr. Alicia Watkins, also beautiful platform. And, of course, your brother is here. How y'all doing? Thank you very much. Thank you for the applause. Oh my God, I don't deserve this. No. Oh man, we're gonna have a good time today, man. And enough respect to all of you that are tuning in and locking in. Remember, tomorrow I told y'all that I was gonna have this lady tomorrow on IG. I have Queen of Four will be with me on IG. Let's give that a round of applause. Let's see Dr. Alicia giving a round of applause. Let's give that a round of applause. I'm playing. That's my sister. You know, I've known Queen of Four since '89. Oh my gosh, we go back. Lord have mercy when she was with Dr. Valentine. My gosh, we go back. Man. And I want to thank her. She's going to be at Nicholas Brooklyn on the 11th. So big up to Nicholas Brooklyn, what they're doing over there. Make sure you go to Nicholas Brooklyn at Eventbrite. And hey, without any further ado, it's now 9:01. I just want to, before I bring on my beautiful sister and wife of the dear Boyce, brother, Dr. Boyce Watkins, I want to mention, of course, Paris Williams is coming in about her new book that's out, printed now, January 12th. And then we have Nina Dunham, the mom of Aquarius, the mom of Aquarius Maximus will be with us. And also we got the son of Danny Simmons, the nephew of Russell Simmons, coming in the building with his new book, his new coloring book at that. My goodness, called the Civil Lizards. This is going to be interesting. Reptilian class coloring book. It's going to be crazy. And also this beautiful spoken word artist coming in on that same day, later on that day, Cheyenne Black. I got the hypnotherapist coming in, Kendall Kyle's coming in, and don't forget, Lloyd Strayhorn has a power series starting on January 21st. Got to big him up, of course, one of the elders. Make sure you go to the Linktree/numbers and you. And I got the Bobbers coming in. I got my man, brother, Professor James Smalls and Professor Griff coming in on the 26th. In Atlanta, Georgia, Brother Rich is doing a big event at the New Black Wall Street, the 9 Ether God Fest, February the 8th. That's going to have Sister Myra, Dr. B, Billy Carson, a whole host of people going to be there, man. I'm telling you. And Brother Rich said it on the show. He's even trying to get Erica Badu to perform. So this going to be cray if we do this. All right. It's going to be, you better call Tyrone. Call. And on February 16th, we have Baba Phil Valentine and the one, the only brother Sabir Bay will be in the building. And big up to my moderators, of course, Color Therapy, and of course, and also big up to Dr. Shakira Moore. Without any further ado, I'd like to bring on. Not only has this sister been on my show, she brought me to tears on this show. So I know how this thing works. Because she is not only a PhD, LCWS, of course, a PhD licensed therapist, but professor of social work, and she's dedicated to healing individual couples and families. Make sure you go to all her links right here because I got all the links pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all make sure y'all support this sister. And she's here to bring this help to y'all, this mental therapist going to y'all. Let's welcome right back on King Simon Presents the one, the only, Dr. Alicia Watkins in the building. You're on mute.
Man, you got a beautiful lineup.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God. Feng Shui? Did you have something about Feng Shui?
Feng Shui, yeah. Color Curiosity.
Look at my office. Everything got a Feng Shui spot.
Exactly. That's a Feng Shui, that mindset. You know what it is.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Happy New You.
Ooh, Happy New Year. Yes, it is a new year. And you always feel a nude new year. I did my winter solstice meditation for 3 days in Los Angeles. Peace out to everybody in Los Angeles. Good grief. What's happening in the world?
Man,
my heart is broken.
They're not feng shuiing it right because something's going on. You know, that's not feng shui when that's happening. That's something going on over there. Something's happening. So,
oh my God, I am so heartbroken for real. I mean, I was just there talking to the people, vibing with everybody there.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like Hurricane Katrina, like I was in New Orleans a month before Hurricane Katrina, having fun, singing, dancing, drinking, having fun. And then I come back home and I'm like completely devastated by what I saw in New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina. It's exactly how I feel right now.
Right, let's pray for the families that's being affected by it, of course, and send that meditation, send that love to everybody, man. Because I know in the field you're in, this could be devastating, and this can also, people may start coming towards you just to get their mind right. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Devastating.
happens. Yeah, that part. So, how you been for this new year? Of course, condolences to the family, of course, with our brother's mother, Dr. Boyce Watkins, sending him love.
Oh, Mama
Yeah,
Robin, oh my God.
yes.
I really miss her.
Man, and y'all have some beautiful pictures. I seen a beautiful picture of you and her and everything. It's so good. It's so good when you could get along with your mother-in-law. That's one thing.
I love that lady.
Good.
I used to spend time with her in the hospital. Boyce wasn't even there. It was just me and her sitting there chatting it up. Wow. Oh my God, I miss her so much.
Wow, man. So tell him I send my love, and my audience send my love to him, man, because he's a staple in the community, and I know he's talking about Claude Anderson right now. I think we need to talk about him a little more, because he's been helping me out with the books that I got from him and all that, man. And your books and everybody, and I'm so proud of both of you and what you're doing, and may y'all continue to stay strong for these couples that represent the world and what y'all do, man, because it's a beautiful thing. And Doc, I want to share with you, because every time you come on here, I got to share something.
Yes, come on, bring it on.
Today's topic is keeping your mind away from low frequency, especially in a society that promotes a lot of low frequency, as you know, because I know you study the metaphysics and you understand it from another level. And I didn't even know you was into it until Dr. Boyce mentioned it on one of the show, I think with the twins or something, and that was it. I was like, whoa, really? But from a metaphysical point of view, what you see, and from your stance, how would you gauge what's going on social media as far as low frequency in this? From 1 to 10, how would you gauge what's happening on social media?
Listen, social media is just a microcosm of the macrocosm, right? It's right. Just a reflection of all the things that is prominent in our society. I mean, we have upcoming in the next couple of weeks, we have an inauguration of a new president. Yes. And so that president is a reflection of the people right now in our country. I mean, people voted him in. He got the majority of the vote. Right. So that speaks to what's going on now. Now, listen. Yes. Doesn't matter who's president, doesn't matter what is going on social media, what's happening on Instagram. I'm here today to talk to you about how you can get your frequency up.
That's what we talk about.
Get your frequency up. If you're noticing that there's people out to get you, or things are happening to you that is less than what you desire it to be, that's a signal that you have got to work on your own frequency, because what is it about you that attracted that to you? Right. Why did they make you the target? Why is it coming up on your feed? You know, think about social media.
That's right.
They're algorithms. Yeah. And it's just as there's all this toxicity in our world, and just as there's toxicity on social media, right, there's also beautifulness. There's also positivity. Exactly. And if you raise your vibration, it's going to reflect in social media. So some of that stuff, we talked about some stuff, I won't name it, earlier, and I'm just like, I'm clueless, and you're clueless. We don't know what's going on because we don't associate with that. It just happened to come up, and someone asked me about certain things. Right. I said, let me contact you.
Text me. I said, girl,
I can see what's going on, because I don't tune into this. Yes. And I can talk to you about how to get your frequency up.
And and thank you for that, sister. And our family, remember, this is all her links, of course, coaching with dralicia.com, her Linktree / Dr. Alicia, and her Instagram is coaching with Dr. Alicia also. And some people don't realize how important it is to either get therapy or go through some type of coaching to keep their mind at a higher level. And I'm so proud to see that you're doing things not only with individuals but with couples, because there's a lot of battles and wars with couples. And like you said, a lot of good things is online about couples, but yet the bad things overshadow the good things. Because I remember being on radio in New York, and we had a radio production meeting, and we had this big wig come in about advertisement and all that. And then he told us, negative news or controversy is sexy. It's sexy. So that sells a lot. And I noticed that. So in your field, when people come with in regards to relationship or individual that come with constantly bombarded, constantly think that they got to be negative or negative, negative, how do you flip the script for them to start recalibrating their mind to think better and think on a higher frequency, please?
Well, everything is contrasted. So whenever there's something negative happening with you, that's a beautiful opportunity to contrast that with the alternative.
Right.
It's like if there wasn't this sort of negativity, then there would be no need to even look at the positives, right? There wouldn't be no need to, if there's a lesson in all of it. Yes. And even the pain that we feel, all of us have gone through certain sense of pain. That is what we agreed to when we were born. We have made this agreement that we are going to experience pain in our life. However, it is a lesson, and it should be seen as a lesson.
Right.
Everybody's going to have conflict in their relationship. It's inevitable. But the conflict should be seen and approached as a method of getting to know each other better. And that's what I focus on. People who come to me individually and they talk about the pain that they've experienced, if they haven't processed it, they begin to suffer from it. Yeah. Suffering is optional. If you have conflict with you and your partner, the conflict is inevitable, but it doesn't have to destroy the relationship. It is a lesson for you to dig deep down and find out what is it about that person that gets you going, because that is how you grow. That is only how you grow. And people, please take full account of her abilities to help and the way she brings so much light. I mean, even for her to deal with the man that I've seen in debate sometimes, Dr. Voice Watkins, I'm like, how does she calm this brother? Yes.
How does that happen? Because I know that, just watching him, I don't know him like that personally, but
no, let me say, one thing you're gonna get with Boyce is authenticity.
Yes, that part.
Authenticity. Now, there's different aspects of him that I see as his wife, but in general, what you see is what you get. He don't pretend.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's my attraction to him, because he's not pretending, and because he's so authentic, it makes me just be authentic, whether he likes it or not. And he's just like, this is me, this is who I am. And I'm looking at him like, this is me, this is who I am. So what we gonna do? So we have these real conversations. Like we have pillow talks whenever we can get the time to sit down. But he's gonna speak from the heart. I'm gonna speak from the heart.
And that comes with a certain understanding, because that's a certain understanding, because in this day and time, a lot of the youngsters will get all angry at each other and they start just because somebody's saying what they mean and mean what they say. And that
don't mean we don't get mad at each other.
I just want to make sure.
That don't mean we don't get mad at each other, but we're authentic in that. Yes. Our love is very authentic. It's intense.
Authenticity. That's interesting, because a friend of mine that is on another podcast named Dante Nero. I know him, we was in the martial arts world and he was in the entertainment world as a former stripper back in the day. So in New York. So he got a lot of stories. And me being an entertainment father, I have a lot of stories, but he has different stories than I do. But he has a acronym that he talks about called ACE: authenticity, credibility, and empathy. And he called it the ACE theory. It's called the ACE theory. So you got to be authentic in what you do. You have to be credible in what you say and how you do things with it. And you have to have empathy. Now, how does those three words, per se, filter into what you do when you're dealing with either individuals, couples, or families?
Yeah, I try to get to the authenticity. I really love that word. The ACE model is beautiful.
ACE
I
model.
try to get to the authenticity in so much of who and what we are. Sometimes we're getting messages that there's something wrong with us. And you have to be able to decipher how you can calibrate who and what you are versus leaving yourself, becoming something based on other people's expectation of you. So you really do. It's a process where you have to know thyself.
Right.
And it is a process that you have to go through. That's why you need to experience different things. Credibility is so important in relationships. I can't even imagine a relationships being held together if you don't have that trust and commitment. And they're basically go hand in hand.
Right.
Because I have to be able to trust that when you're not around me, that you're continuing to keep my best interest at heart in this relationship. You have to have the fact that, oh, I know you got my back. You're loyal to me. I know that there's credibility in the fact that you will be there for me when I need you. That is very important for attachment. We as human beings are just put together that way. And the thing with empathy, I mean, I can't even tell you, people misunderstand what empathy means.
Please.
Empathy means trying to remove yourself from your perspective and try to understand someone else's perspective. And in order to do that, you have to be able to listen and you have to be able to ask questions and try to figure out exactly where that other person is coming from. And if you're not able to do that, you don't have empathy. Empathy does not mean agreement. I don't have to agree with you, but I need to try to understand where you're coming from.
Oh man, say that again, please.
There's not enough of that.
Say that again. Say that again, please.
I don't have to agree with you, but I need to be able to understand where you're coming from. Tell me the story about how you got there. What was going on? What were you thinking? How were you feeling? Explain to me your perspective. And then I don't agree with a lot of my clients. I don't need to. I don't agree with everything Boyce says, but I can at least say, hold on, I'm really curious about how did you come to that conclusion? Tell me what's going on, to try to understand him better. Okay, now I get it. But that doesn't mean we have to agree. Just because you're married to somebody, you don't have to be a carbon copy of that person.
That is the truth. And I'm so glad that you said just that. You don't have to be a carbon copy of the person. And, I've told you I've been married 3 times. And I always say I've been fired 3 times. But I don't want to claim that anymore because one day I don't know if I'll do the marriage thing again, but definitely a secure partner or whatever and deal with that, And I think it's important that back in my day and being raised by certain family members that were probably my father was very womanizing and all that, watching those type of things. How do you deal with that type of situation with regards to, because that is a low frequency in that sense, because we know in the club life and all that, my father opened up a nightclub the year I was born. So that just to make some ends money, and he was still a paramedic. So it was just crazy how that just opened him up to do all the craziness that he did that brought a certain low frequency to the family. How do you deal with people that might be addicted to certain things like that and women and sexual? Because I know boys have a nice book called something financial venereal disease or something. I forgot what he called it.
Oh, financial lovemaking. Yes.
I have that book. Yeah. Yes, please. How do you deal with that type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. First of all, I mean, there's a lot there, right? Yeah. So you have to be able, how can you be you need to be transparent about whatever it is that you want out of another person. And if you are in a relationship with someone and there is an agreement of fidelity, it's taking on that responsibility to be, to practice fidelity in the relationship. Unless it's an open relationship, I don't judge it. I mean, that's what people do. There can be, theoretically and in practice, there can be really healthy open relationships, right? But it's the agreement that you have with that other person. What is the agreement? So that's kind of what I get to in my practice, is an agreement of fidelity. And if you deceive another person, and if you're being deceptive, we have to try to get into what is motivating that. Why is the commitment and trust wavering? And usually individuals like that have a story to tell.
Yeah.
They have a perspective. There's some things that they need to overcome and possibly grow from.
Right.
Because I don't think that infidelity is not always, it all depends. It's not always a deal breaker.
Right.
It is, again, yet an opportunity to try to figure out what's going on with this person and see if the two of the individuals can make a commitment to be with each other. Now, I don't know what your dad's arrangement was in terms of his level of commitment, if he was in an agreement of
right.
fidelity and just was being deceptive. That makes me wonder about where in his life has he been deceived? Who told him that this was okay? Sometimes we get messages about manhood, and maybe there's a counter to that, because I think manhood is, all of the characteristics of masculinity is beautiful, but all of the characteristics of femininity is equally beautiful. Not one is better than the other. And you need to be able to honor and respect that.
We're here with Dr. Alicia Watkins, our guest, our couples coach, licensed therapist, professor of social work, dedicated to healing individual couples and family. And remember, get to all of her links. Please hit her up at all of her links. Of course, we got it right here, up here, man. coachingwithdralicia.com. We got Linktree/Dr. Alicia. We have Instagram. Hit her up at Instagram. Matter of fact, it's all pinned to the top of the chat. So you can just click on those things and join her, be a friend of hers, whatever you got to do, because she has some great stuff. And I know you're on your Linktree, you have it directed to your YouTube and everything else. So I'm glad that you have it there so people can go to the Linktree. You know,
I'm trying to do what I can, running a business, you know.
You doing it, girl. You doing it. You know, you're born on that 28 energy, so I know you're doing it. You do it. That's what us ones do. We do what we gotta do. We keep it moving. So, you know, again, back into the topic, keeping your mind away from low frequency. Now,
yes,
a question that I do have is, what are the psychological effects of being exposed to low frequencies, emotions, or environments, and how can they impact mental health over time?
Okay, you're talking about being exposed,
yeah,
you know, and I think the thing is that there's so many different, we'll just say there's different forms of media that draws our attention here and there. And we need to understand this. It's marketing and it's things are selling. Well, you just talked about it. Sex sales, all of these things sell, these salacious negativity is really, at the end of the day, they're trying to sell you something. They don't care about what's going on. And I think with that knowledge, why not take that knowledge and you decide how you want to feel? You decide how you want your frequency to be, and stop letting things outside of you get control of that. Because just as negativity, you can go down this, it's called doom scrolling. You can go down into this negativity, and it can be almost like you can get attached to this negativity and it can stay with you. It's an energy that can stay with you. That's why I burn my frankincense. Oh, you believe when I went to Egypt and the guy was like, we got frankincense and myrrh. I was like, I'll take a whole pint of that. Yes. Burn some frankincense and myrrh. That's what I'm burning right now in my office. But I'm burning that to clean out and clear out that energy, because I want to decide how my life is. I am not losing control of how I want my life to be. You have to be intentional about what you leave, what you bring into your space, and what you give out. Whenever something, I'm telling you, whenever something negative happens to you, you always start with yourself. How was it that I allowed that into my life? You take control of it so much. And I'm not saying there are real victims. There are real survivors. I'm not saying these things. And if your back's against the wall and you're going to have to, come to blows, then you're going to have to come to blows. But in the aftermath of that conflict or unfortunate situation, you need to figure out, what did I do to contribute to this? How did I attract those people? How did those people get on my radar in the first place?
Somebody said in the chat, beautiful energy emanating from Dr. Alicia, and that is the truth. You got a whole lot of energy. I always watch you, and I said, when you're on with the sisters panel or when you're on with boys, I always wait
We
for you.
don't. Let me tell you, we don't talk about these topics. So I'm
Yeah.
like itching to talk about this topic because
Right. But I know some of the sisters that you do on there, they do talk about it. They mention certain things, and I like when y'all do the panel with the ladies doing y'all thing. Big up to all those sisters that be on there.
Oh,
One day I want to come up there and do some numbers on them so we could all have some fun when they ready for
ooh,
it. When they
yes.
ready for it.
Okay.
But I don't stop. But
I'm,
you let them know, yeah, because I just finished doing an interview with Billy Carson and his wife, and that joint's just taking off like quick. So but it's beautiful. But getting back to this, a lot of people are afraid to get away from the drama because drama is so exciting in this society right now. And I've noticed that people thrive on it. This lower frequency, this drama. What do you see? What do you see? Some of the methods that some of these people can use, like the burning of frankincense and myrrh and all that. But how can they reassign their mind to go towards from the lower frequency to the higher frequency from your therapeutic perspective, please?
yeah, I mean, fear is the basic emotion that is very powerful. Very powerful feeling. And, people do get to be anxious. They start worrying about the future. And I use mindfulness practices.
Mindfulness.
Staying in the now. And honestly, when I do my meditations and that rises my vibration, it really does.
Yeah.
I try to maintain that mindset where everywhere I go, my entire life is a walking ceremony. I try to keep my frequency high because there are a lot of things to be afraid of.
Right.
And fear is the one way that stops people from diving into the deep end. But you've been to the pool when you were little. Once you dived in, you were like, God, this was worse thinking about it than it was when I actually dived in.
Exactly.
And so it's being courageous and having that courage. And when you surround yourself, first of all, when you decide what type of frequency you want, you can surround yourself by an affirming environment. Your environment can be affirming to you, where not only are you a walking ceremony, but it is a walking ceremony for everybody. I don't have to, although I do, go in the mountains of California and meditate with everybody, for 3 days. I try to remember what this feels like, and I take control of it, and I reproduce all of that in my waking life. It's an integration process. So to me, to get away from being afraid is to get into mindful practices. Have a mindful practice, because self-care is self-love.
Right. Self-care is self-love. And some people
self-care is self-love.
Pay
attention to how you feel. And do you want to walk around afraid? Nobody wants to walk around in fear. No. So you pay attention to where that comes from. What is actually happening? What are you telling yourself?
That's right.
And how does that affect your behavior?
Right. And I've spoken to, Dr. Farrah Gray on my show before, and a few other people. And, they always say everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Yes.
Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And I read the book's Law of Success, and they talk about that too, and overcoming fear and those 6 or 7 to 7 deadly sins and all that, or deadly fears that can hold and harbor people back, like the fear of criticism, the fear of death, the fear of this, the fear of that. And that kind of lower your frequency also when it comes to those type of fears. And and according to their science years ago, I remember studying about it. They said the 2 known fears is the fear of falling and the fear of a loud sound. That's what I recall. I don't know if it's changed now over years, but I recall that. And I was like, wow, the fear. And that's why the military takes the time out to train certain soldiers on how to do the skydiving or simulate the bomb dropping and be able to deal with that, so they can be able to go through it real quick without being nervous when it does happen. Because I remember one of my school chums, he's a celebrity now, his name is Shaggy. he said one time that when they got thrown into that what war was going on around 85, he was there in the Marines. He said no, everybody didn't understand because they were just thrown right into it. And when you're not trained totally or completely, it could be a lot of fear factor if you don't learn to deal with it or was trained to handle that type of stuff. And sometimes you could take fear, harvest that fear, and redirect that fear. That's one thing I've learned over the time.
So much energy is attached to fear.
Yeah.
There's so much energy attached to fear. Now, of course, you need to take calculated risks, right? But even if the calculated risks are there and the calculated risks. So listen, your fear, you have to become friends with your fear. Because anxiety is a good thing.
Yes.
And I do a lot of talks with my husband about people are worried about money and financial anxiety. And I said, okay, if you have financial anxiety, go to a financial planner, have a plan in place to get your money together. And if once you execute that plan, the fear should decrease, because fear is a wonderful thing, because if you don't fear anything, you never file your taxes. But you need to file your taxes. You need to do these things. So fear can be a motivating agent. Anxiety can be motivating, but it should go away once you have a plan. Once you take care of it, once you handle your business and deal with it, then the fear should subside. But there's overlapping fear. That's when we need to examine it, because it's taking control. So beautiful thing is to become friends with the fear, because your fear is there to protect you.
Right.
Our DNA wouldn't be alive right now if our ancestors at some point had been rightfully anxious about something. They're ganglia, or they're like, you know what, I'm not going to go over there. The people who made poor choices, the DNA did not continue on, because they weren't able to pay attention to the fear. So fear is not necessarily a terrible thing. It's a signal to you to do something.
That part. Now, I got to take this hard break. Don't go nowhere, family. We're still here with our beautiful sister, Dr. Alicia Watkins. Oh, my goodness. She's such a wonderful person. So happy to have her on. She's not only a licensed therapist, but also professor of social work, and she's dedicated to healing individuals suffering from families. We'll be right black after this and melanated, so don't touch that. Like the voice always says, B1. The B1 crew is in the building. So we'll be right back after this.
Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You could also get my books on Amazon at Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator.
Get ready. The 42nd International Reggae and World Music Awards Show is coming to the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, March 20, 2025. Celebrate the biggest names in reggae and world music as we bring nations together through music and culture. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Don't miss out. Grab yours today at thecentercs.com or irama.com and book your stay for an unforgettable weekend. Hurry, prices go up after Thanksgiving. Follow us on social media and visit our website, www.irawma.com, for more details. The 42nd Irama Show, where the world comes to celebrate music.
That's right. We are beautiful and we are melanated. Let's give that a round of applause. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Do remember tomorrow, we'll be interviewing on IG, not on YouTube, on IG only at King Simon, at Iam.KingSimon, and also at Queen of Four. I will be interviewing international holistic wellness expert and best-selling author. She has a seven new books coming out, I hear. Whoa, so 7 of them are coming out. So And that's where she's going to be at in Brooklyn, New York. She's going to be at Nicholas Brooklyn over there at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York, in Restoration Plaza. $25 advance tickets available on Eventbrite. Just go to Nicholas Brooklyn at Eventbrite. $30 at the door. And please, please support out there, Sister Queen of Four. That she's been a staple in our community for many years, so I'm so proud of her. And we are back, of course. Hey, that's gonna be fun, man. Queen of Four in Brooklyn is gonna be off the hizzle for shizzle. She over the years has helped me with a lot of the low frequency stuff that I've gone through, and maybe the abandonment issues and all that kind of stuff I may have gone through from family and all that kind of stuff. And and this younger generation, there's a lot going on with them, because I understand the unalive rate is going up. People like to call it, this unalive rate is going up because of certain low frequencies, probably through the music, through media, whatever. And in numerology, I always tell people those three words with M has control or connected to mental health if you're not careful. Music, media, and movies. So we got to be very careful with the M. That's the 13th letter in the Pythagorean alphabet. So that M is a number 4. And in my number book, it's numerology and numerovation book, 4 is one of the primary numbers of mental health if we're not careful, by looking at the patterns that it can attract if you're not careful with it. That's what I noticed from my perspective. So how do you deal with the young people nowadays to raise their vibration when sometimes they're just caught up with peer pressure and other people showing them and spreading this type of information to them? How do you deal with the young people as far as in your field?
Yeah, young people go through quite a bit nowadays.
Oh, yes, they are.
They really do. I mean, I really am finding that a lot of young people are just sometimes can be really lost. And you talk about fear. Yeah. A lot of anxiety is coming up for them. But, the good thing about it is that they're very sensitive to things, right? They grew up in this era where everything around them was recorded. Everything around them was taking pictures. They're very susceptible to scrolling on social media all day long and looking at these images with a filter on it. That's not even how these people look, and they evaluate themselves negatively. We got an issue where young people, they don't even know how to date anybody anymore. They're not even going out and talking to people. They're just being really isolated. And as a result, mental health is really suffering because of that. We also have, and my husband and I were talking about this the other day, how concerned we are about this gambling push all of a sudden. How, now these gambling apps are now being embraced by media. I say music, movies, it's all media, and how, this market, things are marketed to people that's not helpful. However, again, I imagine that there's going to be a backlash to all of this.
Of course.
I think that once we step as a country over to the dark side, there's going to be a galvanizing force where people are going to start to wake up, and they're going to start to say, you know what, there's more to me than this. And start to be able to get a hold of it. One thing I will say about this generation that wasn't even in my generation is that everybody is so proud to have a therapist.
That's what I'm noticing. Yes. Wow.
They're just well, even my friends, they were just not my friends' daughters. They're just I got a therapist. Well, I got to meet with my therapist. They wear a badge of honor. Yeah. So maybe the stigma attached to that is starting to melt away, especially for women. But it needs to be that way for men too. Yes. Men are who I'm very concerned about. What's going on? We do need to shatter some of these, I don't know, male stereotypes of manhood, which to me is, all about whiteness, because this is not who Black men really are or who humanity is really about. This is in whiteness, because whenever you're, I have this manhood thing, that's whiteness coming out. Historically, dominant society is pushing this narcissism, a total disregard and disrespect of any and everything. I'm only thinking about what's best for me.
Right. And now narcissist, I wanted to touch on that word because we've touched on it before. And I remember listening to you on one of your programs, and you said that, maybe paraphrasing, where that in order for somebody to be a full narcissist, there's a multitude of symptoms that they have to have, or multiples of, I don't know how you said it, but people using this word too easily.
They do use
now.
it a lot.
They do it a lot.
That's why I said it, so that people will understand what I'm talking about.
Because I mean, somebody said
You know,
malignant narcissist. I'm like, when did you put malignant?
I know. I know. We don't even, let's just move away from all of that. Let's just say this.
Uh-huh.
What is it that makes you feel like you have to be better than everybody else? What makes you feel like you have to be up above everybody, and you can either be like to yourself, like a snob, like who are you and what's going on? You know, what is it about that makes you want to feel like you're so superior? And that's really what it is. And underneath all of it is a deep sense of insecurity. Because if you feel good about yourself and you feel secure in who and what you are, you will not have performance-based esteem. That I'm only good when I win. I'm only a good person when I have so much money in the bank. I'm only a good person when I'm hanging out with the right kind of people. Or even for women, I'm only a good person when I get social validation from someone else. This external based esteem. You know,
you see the question in there, what they said? They said, what is an effective method of dealing with social anxiety?
Social anxiety. Oh my goodness. Social anxiety is such a huge thing. And you know, it is trying social anxiety. I mean, it's a clinical term, but it really is. You know, it's this negative evaluation that you feel like everybody's going to have. Everybody's looking at you and they're evaluating you negatively, and you can't be relaxed and be yourself in public because you're afraid of what people will judge you. And you're not showing your authentic self. It's the shame about who and what you are. You need to work on self-care and ways to build up your esteem. The way for you to feel there's a fountain flowing in you. And you have to feel confident in who and what you are. And that's what the social anxiety, you're just in your head thinking over and over again, these people don't like me, these people are laughing at me. Your thinking becomes very distorted. And that's the problem with social anxiety. And really the worst thing you could do is to cut yourself off from people. Is to isolate yourself, because all it's going to do is fuel the social anxiety. It will get worse. So it's going to take encouragement. Courage. You have to be courageous to do it anyway. It's the social anxiety is part of that fear of a negative evaluation and feeling bad about yourself.
Going back to what you said earlier about the young people in regards to therapists, how long do you think a person needs therapy?
Well, you know, there's always the worried whale. You know, you're okay, but you just need something here. Typically, I would say you should be able to get down to it in 8 to 10 sessions.
8 to 10 sessions. Wow. But some people
into 8 to 10 sessions. Now, there are cases, like if you have a real personality disorder, where you need to be in therapy long term. If you have like major depression and severe mental health issues, you know, it may need to be prolonged, but usually 8 to 10 sessions should be enough. And then some follow-up here and there should be enough to get you on the right course. The issue is not to get rid of all your problems. The issue is to make it good enough you can enjoy your life. There's no perfect relationship. Even with couples I work with, I'm like, you know what? We're not going to fix everything. But can we come up with a system in place to deal with what you are going to inevitably confront? And can this relationship just be good enough? Perfection is not something you want to get to.
Right. Yeah, and you know that, and I find that very interesting because I was watching Charlemagne. You know, I know Dr. Boyce's been on his show before over there at Breakfast Club. And I remember he kept on saying he goes to therapy, and Iyanla Vanzant was on his show. And big up to Iyanla Vanzant. I got to meet her and talk to her, thanks to Queen of Fools. She introduced us. And she said, she said something real interesting, that if you're constantly got to go to therapy, is it working for you? Is it
Yeah.
really working for you? If there's no results happening out of this therapy, you just go in there so somebody can just listen to you, and nothing is. She said, well, "Is it really working for you?" That part really stuck with me because I remember listening to A.R. Bernard at a church called CCC in Brooklyn, and he said sometimes you got to learn to manage your weaknesses and strengthen your strength.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with her. She's not a therapist. What I love about her is that she's very clear. She's like, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not even going to pretend to be a therapist. I'm just going to just let you know. She's spot on about that. You know, you don't really have to be the worried whale all the time ruminating on things. Live life. Now, you know, bipolar, and stuff, things like this. I'm looking at that. And even some personality disorders, I can see it could be just dependent on how severe it is. It could last a little longer, but and some developmental traumas that you need to work through can take some time to work through some of those things. But yeah, you don't need to be in therapy for your whole life. You should be working it and learning some lessons.
Yeah, and that's what I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you agree with that. And now, family, remember, she has a wonderful book called Drama-Free Conversations, of course. A workbook for couples interested in learning how to stop fighting and start listening. And it's not just for intimate couples, business wise, family, all of this can help out. Because I even use this to help my children and their wife and all that kind of thing. My son, I had to use that. But and one thing I learned, if you're not willing to, if one person is not willing to do it and the other one is, then it won't work. It's gonna fall apart, and it kind of did in that sense.
Yeah, so, it takes two. It really takes two to commit, and it takes both people committing. You can't just have one person, like one person can't be committed and the other person isn't, And that's the thing. It's just like, sometimes, and I don't know, like I'm a second generation therapist.
Wow.
And, I was fortunate enough to, sit and observe how I was raised. And I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not better than anybody. Okay. I do have issues in my family. But and I think about how I was raised, and I just naively thought everybody was raised like this, where talk about how you feel. We didn't have a lot of material things, but there was a lot of love. And I watched both parents dedicate their life to healing all these people around us. And I really think that as Black people, there's so much that we experience intergenerationally and historically that we really have to focus on and really need to really overcome. And you can break the cycle. Your generation, you can break that cycle. I've seen it happen. So I feel like I'm carrying on a legacy that was given to me. And that is something that I feel very passionate about because it can happen. I've seen things change. I, grew up in a very unique environment, unique environment on a college campus with my dad. My mom was a school counselor, and, they did a lot of work with, the community. Gary, Indiana, and Tuskegee, Alabama. Those are the Blackest places in the whole world. You don't get no better than that. And so, it's just something that I feel like I'm privileged in a lot of ways because I had this example set, before me. And so I'm able to use that to galvanize other people to heal. It can happen. Yes.
And I love what you say. Welcome to Coaching with Dr. Alicia. Ignite passion, enhance communication, and strengthen your relationship. I love that because, I think passion is gone in a lot of relationships. They've lost a lot of footing, and enhancing communication. People sometimes will give up to communicate and actually converse with somebody, or at least people don't understand each other's communication or how this person might need to be quiet at a time and maybe revisit it later on or revisit it tomorrow. How do you feel about that? Because sometimes, especially with the sisters want to deal with it right then, right now, when men might say, they feel that they might say something wrong. Can can I just calm that down? Can we just relax first and talk about it after or right before we go to bed or something? What do you say about that type of communication when it comes to delaying it or addressing it right away?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really think couples need to have a regular set time where there is no confusion. Organize your relationship. Have a regular set time where you sit down. You got to organize it. You got to run your marriage and your relationship like a business. You got business meetings. Why not have a business meeting? We need to talk about the state of things. We need to have regular times. And usually it's after dinner, before bed, no kid, put the kids to bed early. Carve out time where it's just you and that other person so that expectations are there. And that means the rest of the day you got to let each other go so that they can do other things. We're not going to be love addicts, can't be loving on each other 24/7, but you need to set aside special time for that on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, times where you can just celebrate each other and have where you can talk about things that are going on with you. Not at dinner. After dinner would be better.
Right.
You want to be able to digest your food properly.
Exactly. I want to thank Pray 7 for all the donations that they're spreading with me. Of course, I want to thank them. And last but not least, I didn't want to keep you for long because I hear Dr. Boyce in the background, so I don't want to.
Yeah, he's noisy. I did text him, and I was just like, "You're very noisy," but
he just needs to soundproof the room. That's all. Soundproof the room. I would.
You hear him? He's so noisy.
Last but not least, my dear, what do you see for Dr. Alicia's legacy moving on? Let's say 50 to 100 years from now. You see your legacy.
Oh my God, what a question for me. Listen, there's so much that I want to do, like for real, so much that I want to do. I am in the process, and I keep telling myself, stop it, Alicia. What are you doing? But it stays on my mind. I am in February. I'm doing another Black Love Weekend. This will be our second Black Love Weekend. Yes, I'm doing it in February. I haven't even started talking about it yet, but I'll talk about it now because you asked. Black Love Weekend, and that's going to be yet another product here. But I think it's going to be something that, based on my understanding, we need. Black Love Connection. It's going to be talking about basically everything that you just mentioned. See how things are aligned? Everything you asked me today, it's so fresh in my head because I've been working on this over the break. I was like, okay, let that be enough. But then yet another project comes up. And I do want to talk about getting people together, how to find the right people around you and how to let people go respectfully when the relationship doesn't work for you anymore.
That's right.
The relationship doesn't work for you. It's interesting. Just because I'm just coming off of my retreat that I went to where I was meditating.
Right.
And the meditation was very powerful.
Right.
And a lot of things were confirmed for me.
Yes.
But I really do know that I am a healer.
Let's stop right there. Let me tell you something. You're born May 28th. I want to break that down to you why this is very important. That 5 and that 2 and that 8. That 5 plus 28 equals 33. That is the master healer number. So that's your alignment number. Before it adds up to 6, you got a master number healer. 5 plus 28. That's 33. So you're aligned to be, that's called the Christ consciousness energy. And we know what happened to Christ because he was a healer. So you got to stay on that healing anointed energy. So you don't have to know you feel or know you are a healer mathematically. It's just, when are you going to meet your mathematics with the physicality of it? It's just there. It's been there since you was a child. People come to you for balanced answers. People come to them. That's why it's not surprising that you are a therapist, because you're born with that frequency as the lead. Because when I do numerology or numerovation, I look at that first frequency because that's what aligns you for what you're supposed to achieve in this lifetime.
I'm floored because that is exactly what came to me was all these babies were born
Mm.
And it said, we anoint every baby on what they need to do in life. And then I was shown, when you were born, you were anointed as a healer. And I was like, oh, really? And they're like, you need to go and do and heal and become it. And that is all I need to focus on. I felt like I was like really indoctrinated into a council of healers on a spiritual level. Like, it was really profound. I only wrote it. I don't even talk about stuff like this ever. But
mathematically you are. Mathematically you are, because that pinnacle or that first alignment number is the crowning.
But there we go.
And that was align you to achievement, because it's called, in certain systems it's called an alignment number. Some people call it a pinnacle. Some people call it an achievement number. That's what you're supposed to achieve. But sometimes, again, like I said on Billy's show, life be lifing sometimes, and it takes you all over the place, both positive and negative. What happens with sometimes being born in the 5th month, and anybody being born in the 5th month, have to be very careful of scattered thoughts, because there's so much coming through your head, so much time. You need to put it down on paper and start working on one thing at a time, knock them all out.
Yes.
If two or three of them support each other, then work on all of it together. But 5 is the number of scatteredness. Sometimes the monkey mind running around. That's why it has to be controlled and directed. That's why the master number shows up in your chart, because if you want to be a master, it takes discipline, it takes responsibility to be a master. That's also
oh my God. And you know what? When I changed my name to Watkins, that put me at a 5.
Oh, yes. It would.
My last name change put me to a 5, which I understood it was better because I was a 9 with my old last name, and that wasn't working for me.
But yeah, because nine sometimes, if 9 is still around you with your last name, because that deals with international connection. It's just that with the 9 and being born with that 1/20/28 energy, they work together. The 5 is going to take you to a whole. 5 is going to have you be adaptable to whatever happens.
Yes.
Staying focused and being able to adapt to whoever comes your way. Adapting, improvising, and overcoming is the 5 energy. So
look at that reading. No, and I know you looked up. You got to be.
That's just a little bit. Yeah, I be bored. That's just a little bit, and you know, because I touch on all types of things. So I'm proud of your journey. I'm proud of your mathematical journey, and I'm glad. I pray that your legacy does survive the test of time and stretch out there, stretch forth to wherever it's supposed to reach. Because you are doing great work for me, from my point of view, and watching you on your program. And family, if you want to follow her YouTube channel, go to the Linktree/Dr. Alicia. If you want to get a coaching for it, go to coachingwithdralicia.com. If you want to follow on Instagram, go to coachingwithdralicia on Instagram. I'm so proud of this sister. Any last words for our audience? Any last word for our audience, please?
Last words. Let me tell you. My last word, I just appreciate you bringing me on here. I feel so honored to be part of that whole lineup you got going on there.
I love it.
And I mean, it really is, you really have to take your mind back.
Yes.
You really have to take your mind back, and you decide how you want your life to be. It is not anybody's responsibility, but yours to decide who you want in your life and the type of people that you want in your life. And if the people around you is not truly reflective of what you want in your life, you don't have to get rid of them. You don't have to say goodbye to them. All you got to do is change your frequency, elevate your frequency, and they will melt away.
That's right.
So you got control. You never lost control of this.
That's right. So thank you very much for that. If you're in town around February 8th, please let me know, and I'll make sure I get you on the guest list to come and see what's about to happen over there at the New Black Wall Street with Brother Rich and them. So if you're in town, let me know. Your boys, if y'all want, because Dr. B is performing live. Billy Carson is supposed to perform live. Professor Griffin, his new soul band is supposed to perform live. It's going to be a beautiful. It's going to be more of from 7 to 1 a.m. in the morning, but it's going to be a social, but it's going to be live performance, conscious performance. And he's trying to get Erykah Badu in there. That's what he's saying. So that would be powerful to even, see you.
Erykah Badu, or get India Arie. Don't she live in Atlanta?
She does, and I spoke to her at the New Black Wall Street. So I'm gonna hit up. I'm telling him either, if he can't get her, he might, hopefully probably get Indico or somebody or India Irie. That'd be good too. So
They available. They are available. Get the little. She can come with her bowls and her little white and be doing her bowl. I love it. She's amazing.
That would be sexy and beautiful. I met her. She was so gentle and very nice. I met her at the New Black Wall Street like last year. And it was such a good.
Come on.
So it was nice. but thank you so much, Dr. Alicia, for coming on and spreading love. And tell your husband I sent my greetings. I'm here in the background talking.
He's so noisy, but it's okay. It's adorable to me.
I'm watching him earlier, so I did watch him. So. But thank you there, and have a safe and good evening, okay? And take care, all right?
Okay.
Bless you.
Bye-bye.
All right, no respect to you. Oh, that's our sister, man. Oh my gosh, I love my sister. Oh, that was good. You see, your alignment number, and like I said, she was born 5/28, and that alignment number. What I see it from my perspective, because it's known as the first pinnacle, that numerology perspective, that alignment number, that 33, or your alignment number is like your crowning or your introduction to the crown of the jewels of what you're supposed to do along your path to achieve your path and to achieve what you want to achieve in your life, or to align you with what you're supposed to achieve in your life. And some people fall off of that. Some people stop doing it. My alignment number is a 3 because I'm born February the 1st. So 2 + 1 = 3. Those who know me know I've been on radio, television. I've been a reggae artist, dancehall artist, number 5 on the chart. And I've done television and BCAT and all kinds of stuff, especially in New York City. So 3 deals with the need to express and expand on multiple levels, even to the point that I'm writing books. And big up to Dr. Alicia. This is her book right here, Drama-Free Conversation by Dr. Alicia. Make sure you go to her website, or you can go to her. Let me see. Let me show you her. Show you. This is her. Linktree. Linktree has everything that you want to get to, from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. It's all TikTok. All of that is on her Linktree. So make sure you support Dr. Alicia on her Linktree, and the link is pinned to the top. If you want consultation, you want to do some therapy work, family, individuals, or couples, she's good at what she does. She's a professional. She's married to the great Dr. Boyce Watkins. You've seen him on CNN, The Breakfast Club, and all that. And I've had him on my show with her before, just for a short time, but it was a beautiful, beautiful moment with Dr. Boyce Watkins passing through. But it's so important that we understand our mathematics, because all of us like to say numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie, numbers don't lie. Absolutely right. Numbers don't lie. The only time I can say that they may lie is when you're dealing with computer or man-driven, man-made or man-driven statistics and all that, all that kind of stuff, But when it comes to your personal numbers connected to you, when it comes to astrological and numerical numbers, and things throughout time and immemorial, I've seen it from the Chaldean to the Kabbalah to the Abjad to all of that. Numbers don't lie in any culture if used appropriately. So I always tell people, when it comes to different calendars, although people say this is the Gregorian calendar, this is the Justine calendar, this is this calendar, this is that calendar, there's a multiplicity of calendars. If I was in Ethiopia, then I will go by the Ethiopian calendar. If I was in Greece, then I would go by the Greek calendar. If I was in China, then I would go by the numbers. Ain't changing me at all, because the numbers, I'm going to work it. Period. I don't care where I'm at, where I live. So even though we're under what we call the Gregorian calendar, because the Justine calendar, Justine calendar was probably off a little, so it had to be repaired according to the science and according to the studies, for their perspective, because those who won the war rewrote the books. So if I go to Ethiopia, it might be 2017 or 2016, 2017 right now. So if I was in Ethiopia, I needed to pay attention to time and get to where I got to go to with the Ethiopian calendar, then I would use the Ethiopian calendar. But try using the Ethiopian calendar here if you're not in an organization that uses it already, but you got to give unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, give unto the Lord what is the Lord. If the Lord's time clock is what you're working with within your household, then work it. But when you step out of that door and deal with the society, then you deal with their time clock. And both of them will work. So I don't care if you're under a Jewish calendar or Chinese calendar here in America. When you step out of your house after you do your calendar stuff and you're going to work for somebody or going and you have to make their own time, you're going to pay attention to their time. And you utilize it and make it yours and own it and manipulate it for it to serve you on a higher level. That's what I've learned with using numbers. So I don't care what calendar we're talking about. Because when I talked to my elders of the Kemetic studies, they said they had multiple of calendars also. Upper Egypt might have another calendar, Lower Egypt had a different calendar. So when I'm hearing all of that, I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna bug out. It's because numbers don't lie. I don't care which position or where I'm at. You know, my children, my family don't even know how deep I go with this. But I know I had to go deep with it because this is something that is part of my soul. This is something that I've been dreaming about even since when I was younger. I was into numbers since I was 14. So it's interesting how this is panning out, and I'm glad to have had that beautiful sister on again. Please support what she does. Please follow her on IG and watch her and her husband do pillow talk, or her and the Fly Nubian Queens doing their thing on that channel and all of that. So enough respect to all of them that are doing their work over there at the B1 channel. Boyce Watkins and the whole crew, Black First. B1 channel is Black First. That's what they say. All right. So have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Remember, tomorrow, if you're part of Instagram, if you are on Instagram, I have the great one coming on Instagram with me tomorrow. I have the one, the only Queen of Fua will be with me tomorrow at 1 p.m. January 9th, which happens to be my daughter's birthday, Yasira Bliss' birthday. Tomorrow happens to be Dion Cole, the comedian's birthday also. And tomorrow happens to be Angie Martinez's birthday, I believe. Yes, Angie Martinez's birthday is also tomorrow also. So happy birthday to all those great people. Remember, Queen of Four will be in Brooklyn, New York, Nicholas, Brooklyn on the 11th from 12 to 4 p.m. She has a new book release called Food as Medicine, 7 Series 2025 book launch. 7 Series 2025 book launch with Queen of Four. Tickets are available at Eventbrite through Brooklyn, Nicholas, Brooklyn. And remember, on the 12th, I have this beautiful sister, Paris Williams, coming in at 8 p.m., The Journey of Spiritual Authorship. On the 15th, I have Nina Dunham, a.k.a. Nina Diamond, or Diamonds 8 on Instagram, Healing Through the Rock of Ages. Her plight with the crack vial and all that kind of stuff. She's going to go with it, and how cardology, numerology, and just history helped her out. January 15th, Martin Luther King's birthday. And don't forget, we have Jamel Simmons, the one, the only Jamel Simmons, son of the great artist himself, Danny Simmons, and the nephew of Russell Simmons will be with us. Reptilian Ruling Class coloring book, the Civil Lizards. All we're going to talk about it then later on that afternoon. This is happening in the morning, and this is happening in the afternoon. Cheyenne Black, Speaking from the Heart, will be with us at 2 p.m. January 19th. On that Wednesday, we have Kendall Cobbs, Unlocking the Subconscious, How Hypnotherapy Rewires the Mind. And then Lloyd Strayhorn starts his Power Series. Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn and his Power Series, Power of Your Numerical Cycles. That's right, starting on January the 21st at 7 p.m. And then he got something coming up, I believe, on February 25th about Numbers You and Beyond workbook. He's going to be going out of that. He's going to be teaching, so big up to him and his workshop that's coming up February 25th. And don't forget, my brothers are coming in on January the 26th at 8 p.m. That's January the 26th at 8 p.m. Remember, my workshop, my masterclass is happening. My masterclass is happening on January the 11th. That's January 11th. My masterclass is happening on January 11th. Make sure y'all are in the building. That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be happening fantastic. That's going to be beautiful. January 11th. And do remember, coming into February, Brother Rich, the 9 Ether God Fest happening February the 8th, 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. at the new Black Wall Street Mall in Stonecrest, Georgia. That's going to be big. A lot of people are going to be passing through. It's going to be big. And if Rich get these other people to perform, it's going to be even more big. All right. And of course, Dr. Philip Valentine and Brother Sabir Bey will be speaking right here on my channel. Make sure y'all support them through their PayPal and all the different type of payment apparatus. I'll be sharing that all throughout this show. It's going to be 2 hours of Brother Sabir and Dr. Philip Valentine. I want to shout out my one of my moderators, Color Therapies, Color Curiosity. Big up to Millicent Simmons, and also my other moderator, Dr. Shakira Moore. Big up to her and what she's doing with the iridology. And don't forget, she has a big thing happening on January 15th. I'm going to make sure I'm doing an interview with her on IG coming up soon. Look out for that. And her new book, new book. Pre-order the Iris Papers, all by Dr. Shakira Moore on February the 15th. The pre-orders will go out and y'all will get the book. And by the time, I think in the next month after this, but you can pre-order this book. I love what this looks like, Iris Papers, man. This is going to be a powerful book. Look at the cover, man. It's going to be crazy. And big up to Dr. Shakira Moore coming on January the 25th to the new Black Wall Street. Also, make sure you support her in all that she does on her website, her YouTube, and Instagram. She should be on YouTube tomorrow. And I want to remind everybody, of course, that if you want to do your taxes, contact DTR. Y'all know DTR Books. DTR also have DTR Taxes. Mention King Simon and DTR Taxes LLC will take care of you. Call that number right now or text that number and tell them King Simon sent you. And remember, IRAMAS, the International Reggae and World Music Awards happening in Coral Springs, Florida, March the 30th. I'll be there. That's a Sunday. And big up to Dara Moselle. I've been texting and shouting out Adara. Big up to Adara and what she does all the time. Enough respect to Adara. She does energy healing. She does negative energy removal. That's not an easy thing to do. Negative energy removal, personal power activation. She does all of that. True Tantra. She knows how to work that magic. She's one of my massage therapists out here in Georgia. So I'm proud of her journey and what she's doing. And if you want to hit her up, make sure you go to AdaraMoselle.com. AdaraMoselle.com. Make sure you hit her up and or scan the QR code. And remember, check out her book too. It's called Higher Self and Harmony. Higher Self and Harmony. That's Higher Self and Harmony. Go to her Linktree /Adara Moselle. That's Linktree /Adara Moselle. Big up to this beautiful sister too, Amira. Big up to Amira. Make sure you hit her up for cartomancy. She's a cartomancy specialist. Also, big up to JB with his cleaning company in Atlanta, in the metro Atlanta area. And big up to my son in New York with his recording studio. Big up to, of course, those who want to book a session with me. I have 15 slots left. Text me your full name, date of birth, and an email right now. Text me your full name, date of birth, and an email, and we can probably get you in before February comes in. And don't forget, get all my books on Amazon. My new book is coming out by March. My new book is coming out right now. It's finished, but it's being edited right now, and it takes time to edit. Of course, Numerovational Angles and Angel Numbers book. Also, my new children's book should be coming out around June. That should come out around June. And my autobiography, When the Late Bell Rang, will be coming out in 2026. Remember what Dr. B says, family. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I'm thankful for my life. And remember what Dr. Blair used to say. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Once again, we want to thank Dr. Alicia for coming on and sharing her journey and sharing what she does with us. And remember, tomorrow on IG at IAM.KingSimon or at Queen of Four. I will be on at 1 o'clock with Queen of Four tomorrow. So should be a great day tomorrow. Can't wait. Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, one of my daughter's birthdays, so big up to her. And family, have a great day, afternoon or evening, whatever time you may be tuning into this. And remember, I love you because I love me. All right? Take care. Peace and love.
It's the numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
Get ready. The 42nd International Reggae and World Music Award Show is coming to the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, March 20, 2025. Celebrate the biggest names in reggae and world music as we bring nations together through music and culture. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Don't miss out. Grab yours today at thecentercs.com or irama.com and book your stay for an unforgettable weekend. Hurry, prices go up after Thanksgiving. Follow us on social media and visit our website, www.irawma.com for more details. The 42nd Irama Show, where the world comes to celebrate music.
Knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class.